Imagine plunging into a world where the sky itself wants to kill you, where storms the size of Earth have raged for centuries, where you can't land because there's nothing to land on, where the pressure would crush you into atoms before you even knew what was happening. This is Jupiter, and falling into it would be the most horrifying death in the solar system. Jupiter shouldn't exist, at least not the way it does. It's a cosmic accident frozen in time, a star that never woke up. When our solar system was born from a swirling cloud of gas and dust 4.5 billion years ago, Jupiter began devouring everything. It grew ravenous, consuming material faster than any other planet. Hydrogen and helium poured into its core, the same ingredients that built our sun. It wanted to ignite. It tried to become a star, but it failed. Jupiter stopped growing just 13 times too small, 13 times short of the mass needed to spark nuclear fusion, so close to glory, yet condemned to darkness. Instead of a second sun lighting our skies, we got something far stranger, a world that traps the fury of a star inside itself with nowhere to go. That trapped energy creates absolute chaos. Gaze at Jupiter's surface and you're witnessing organized violence. Bands of cloud race around the planet at over 800 kilometers per hour. Ammonia crystals freeze and shatter in supersonic winds. Lightning bolts 1,000 times more powerful than Earth's crack through the atmosphere. And then there's the Eye, the Great Red Spot. A storm so massive, so impossibly old, that it's been continuously observed since the 1600s. This anticyclone could swallow 3 Earths whole. Winds at its edges exceed 600 kilometers per hour. Scientists still don't fully understand why it exists or how it survived for centuries when storms on Earth die in weeks. It just keeps spinning, feeding on the heat rising from below. A perpetual hurricane machine. But here's what really keeps astronomers awake at night. We don't know what's underneath, because if you try to fall into Jupiter, you discover there's no surface at all, no solid ground, no place to land, just an infinite descent into pressure and heat that would erase you from existence. Let's walk through your death. At first, you'd fall through white clouds of frozen ammonia, almost peaceful. The sky around you bright and calm. But that tranquility is a lie. Within minutes, everything changes. The sky darkens to a sickly yellow, then brown, then black. The temperature spikes, 100 degrees, 500, 1,000. The pressure builds, 10 times Earth's atmosphere, 100 times, 1,000. Your body would be crushed like a tin can at the bottom of the ocean, but worse, because you're also being cooked alive. You fall deeper. The hydrogen around you gets compressed so violently that it stops behaving like gas. It becomes liquid. Then something even stranger happens. The pressure becomes so extreme that electrons are ripped from their atoms. The hydrogen transforms into liquid metal. An ocean of metallic hydrogen thousands of kilometers deep, conducting electricity, generating the most powerful magnetic field of any planet in the solar system. This magnetic field extends millions of kilometers into space. If you could see it from Earth with your naked eye, it would appear 5 times larger than the full moon. And it's screaming. Jupiter doesn't just sit quietly in space. It roars. It blasts radio waves so intense that amateur astronomers can pick them up with basic equipment. These aren't gentle signals. They're violent bursts of electromagnetic energy, triggered by its volcanic moon Io dumping tons of sulfur into Jupiter's magnetic field every single second. The radiation around Jupiter is apocalyptic. If you flew near it without shielding, you'd receive a lethal dose in hours. If you stood on Europa, one of its moons, without protection, the radiation would cook your DNA in minutes. Your cells would stop dividing. Your organs would fail. You'd die in agony. Jupiter is beautiful from a distance, but get too close and it will kill you in the most painful ways physics allows. Yet here's the terrifying irony. We might owe our existence to this monster. For billions of years, Jupiter's gravity has acted as a cosmic shield. Its immense mass, 318 times that of Earth, pulls in asteroids and comets like a vacuum cleaner. objects that might have smashed into our planet and extinguished life before it ever had a chance to evolve. Jupiter took the hits for us, over and over again. In 1994, we watched comet Shoemaker-Levy 9 break apart and slam into Jupiter with the force of millions of nuclear weapons. Each impact left scars in its atmosphere the size of Earth. If those fragments had hit us instead, civilization would have ended. But the King's protection comes with a price. Recent simulations show Jupiter doesn't just catch asteroids. Sometimes it flings them. Its gravity can act like a slingshot, redirecting objects into the inner solar system, straight toward us. The same force that shields us might also be the one that occasionally sends extinction-level events our way. Jupiter protects and threatens in equal measure. And deep inside, beneath the metallic hydrogen ocean, something even stranger might exist. Scientists believe Jupiter has a core, a solid ball of rock and ice perhaps 20 times the mass of Earth, crushed under pressures we can barely comprehend. But we don't know for sure. We may never know, because reaching it is impossible. No probe we build could survive the descent. The Galileo spacecraft, which dove into Jupiter's atmosphere in 2003, was crushed and vaporized in less than an hour. It barely scratched the surface before the planet erased it. Jupiter stands at the edge of the outer solar system like a gatekeeper, a failed star, a storm that never ends, a world with no ground beneath your feet. It reminds us that the cosmos is not designed for fragile creatures like us. We exist only because we're far enough away from the giants, living in a small, quiet corner where the universe happens to be gentle. For now.